Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a cheerful little girl named Ruby. Everyone loved her, but nobody loved her more than her grandmother. One day, Ruby's mother gave her a basket of treats. "Take these to Grandmother Mabel," her mother said. "But remember, stay on the path and do not talk to strangers." Ruby put on her favorite red-hooded cloak and waved goodbye. The forest was beautiful and filled with singing birds. Ruby felt very happy as she walked along the winding trail. She saw some lovely wildflowers growing nearby and decided to stop for a moment. Grandmother Mabel would love these, she thought. She began to pick the brightest daisies and bluebells she could find. Suddenly, a large gray wolf named Silas stepped out from behind a tree. He had a long, bushy tail and big, golden eyes. Silas was very hungry, but he spoke in a very polite voice. "Good morning, little girl," he said. "Where are you going on this fine day?" Ruby forgot her mother's warning and smiled at the wolf. "I am going to see my grandmother Mabel," Ruby replied. "She lives in the cottage under the 3 big oak trees." Silas the wolf had a naughty idea. He pointed toward a different part of the woods. "There are even prettier flowers over there," he suggested. "Why don't you take the long way and gather a big bouquet?" While Ruby was busy picking flowers, Silas ran as fast as his legs could carry him to Grandmother Mabel's house. He knocked on the door. "Knock! Knock!" Inside, Mabel heard the sound and looked out the window. She saw the wolf's shadow and quickly hid inside her big wooden wardrobe to stay safe. Silas let himself in and climbed into her bed, disguised in a nightcap. Soon, Ruby arrived at the cottage. She knocked gently on the door. "Grandmother, it's me, Ruby," she called out. Silas narrowed his eyes and tried to make his voice sound high and sweet. "Come in, my dear," he croaked from the bedroom. Ruby walked inside, feeling that something was a little bit strange. Ruby went to the bedside. Silas was tucked under the blankets, wearing Mabel's glasses and nightcap. "Oh, Grandmother," Ruby whispered. "What big ears you have," Silas chuckled. "All the better to hear you with, my dear." Ruby leaned closer. "But Grandmother, what big eyes you have," Silas grinned. "All the better to see you with, my dear." "And Grandmother," Ruby said, her voice shaking, "what big teeth you have." Silas couldn't wait any longer. "All the better to eat your snacks with," he shouted, jumping out of the bed. Ruby let out a loud cry and ran toward the door as fast as she could. Silas chased after her, his nightcap flying off his head. Just then, a brave woodcutter named Arlo was passing by the house. He heard Ruby's cry and rushed inside with his heavy axe. When Silas saw the strong woodcutter, he realized he was in big trouble. Arlo pointed toward the forest and let out a mighty shout. Silas turned around and ran away as fast as he could, never to be seen again. Grandmother Mabel stepped out of the wardrobe and gave Ruby a giant hug. They invited Arlo to stay for tea. Ruby promised she would always listen to her mother and never talk to strangers in the forest again. They all sat down and enjoyed the delicious treats from Ruby's basket. They were safe and happy in their cozy cottage.